Namaskar. I would like to introduce Dr. Vrishali G. Joshi, physiotherapist, organizing secretary for Vishwa Mangalya Sabha. Dr. Vrishali G. Joshi, she will tell us Vishwa Mangalya Sabha. About Vishwa Mangalya Sabha, Dr. Vrishali G. Joshi.
सद्गुरु श्री कृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये शुभदे माते जन्मभूमि नमोस्तुते। भारत माता की जय। All the dignitaries present out here, my sisters from all corners of globe, we are pondering here the increasing role of women in Hindu Renaissance. Coincidentally, we are in Delhi, which itself is a standing witness of divine history of Bharat. I please request the ladies to sit. But before coming to the topic, let us think of the age and seniority that Indian culture and its civilization has. See, whole globe, no other country in the globe has its civil or cultural age more than that of 4,000 years. Before that, whole globe was in a state of wilderness and wandering in the jungles like an animals. But at that time, India has civilizations because the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was given from the battlefield of Mahabharata 5,151 years back. 9 lakhs years prior to this event, we had Ishwaku dynasty, that is Ram Rajya. In due period, we faced more than 1,500 attacks and invasions which have assaulted our country by all means. But still, India is standing as a global attraction in front of world in cultural, economic, cultural fields. Some lakhs years before, we were worshipping Vishnu, still we are worshipping Vishnu. Some lakhs years before, we were worshipping Shiva, Ganpati, Lakshmi, still we are worshipping Shiva, Ganpati, Lakshmi. So nothing, meaning to say is, nothing much has changed as far as the integrity of Hindu Dharma is concerned. So here question is, what is that secret power which is sustaining, maintaining, nourishing, cherishing, and resuscitating Hindu Dharma and its culture? The answer is the institution of family, and the soul of family is women. Where is the remote, please? Institution of family. So women is a soul of family, right? So thus we call her as Mata. The meaning of Mata is the one who can has her opinion. जिसे खुद का मत होता है वो माता, जो अपने मत के अनुसार किसी का मत बना सकती है वो माता, जो अपने मत के अनुसार अपने परिवार का मत प्रस्थापित कर सकती है वो माता। हम उसे स्त्री भी कहते हैं। सत्रयी इति स्त्री, सत्व रज तम, इन 3 ही गुणों से जो परिपूर्ण होती है वो स्त्री। सस्त्रवण इति स्त्री, प्रेम, दया, शांति, इन गुणों का जो स्त्रवण करती है वह स्त्री। सस्तर इति स्त्री, जिसके संगत से जीवन का स्तर बढ़ता है वह स्त्री। जब वो किसी की पत्नी होती है तब वह अपने घर का और अपने परिवार का जो पतन नहीं होने देती वह पत्नी। So, various roles she has to play. And this is not applicable for the ancient women or women of Vedic times. This is applicable for today's women too. And when the Renaissance, Hindu Renaissance comes, in Vedic era, we had women sages, women scholars, women saviors like Arundhati, Brahmavadini Gargi, Vidushi Ghosha. Yesterday we were discussing about this equality in Stri Purush. So I would like to tell you that right of equality was given for the Indian women some in Vedic era only, because the Ghosha has written the Stri Purush Samhita. It is a constitution for the right of equality in men and women. Then, in medieval era, when India faced the phase of Anishwarvad with the onset of Jainism and Buddhism, Mother Aryamba came forward and gave birth to Adya Shankaracharya and inspired him at an age of 7 for Krunvanto Vishwamaryam, that is an established an Aryavarta once again in the world. Then during the time of Islamic dynasty, as if the Hindu revolution took birth from the womb of Jizabai and Jayavantabai in the form of Raja Shiva Chhatrapati and Maharana Pratap, and regave the identity to this land as Hindu Rashtra. So, whenever this country faced the situations like Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata, the agonies of this motherland, as if taken up by her daughters and transformed them into the pangs of new birth, which gave birth to those mighty men and mighty revolutions which have changed the fate and face of civilizations of that time. Thus, looking at the important role of women as a mother in bringing about the renaissance of Hindu Dharma, we, Vishwamangalya Sabha, an organization which is established by a visionary saint from Maharashtra, Acharya Sri Jitendra Nath Ji Maharaj, which works and targets systematically with a view to strengthen the Indian traditional mother. Our aim and objective behind this is to protect the Sanatan Hindu Dharma and to provide the wisdom behind it to next generations. Vishwamangalya Sabha firmly believes in a philosophy and ideology that every girl, irrespective of her age, is bestowed with matrutva, motherhood. Thus, every girl is a latent divine mother. So, in order to imbibe her with such a power, so that in future she would give birth to sages, scientists, martyrs, patriots for the country and for the world as its citizens, denizens, and netizens, we have developed a complete psychosocial plan in which we arrange some programs to inculcate divine motherhood between the age 13 to 55 years. We have designed various modules so that as per their role, responsibilities, and the age. For example, in our Vedic cultural traditional education program, we teach sacred hymns, necessary customary rituals, some suktas to build up the base of Sanatan Hindu mother. We do it, as you see, we do it through Gurukul Paddhati. The eminent personalities, authorities in this field, they teach us. And our volunteers travel for it and they spread it in the society. We have also developed a complete plan so that to make everybody practically experience the routine of ideal Hindu mother. As Bhagini, Dr. Ramanujan said, Achara Paramo Dharmaha. So, Achar Samhita of an ideal Hindu mother is necessary so that we get acquainted with the dutifulness and the divinity in the Indian culture. We have tried to work for women in all stratas of society, either it be urban, suburban, rural, metro, because see, ideal motherhood is a right of every woman. Thus, each woman should be accessed and addressed in this regard. We work for children via our module known as Prerna Prasad. The meaning of it is an inspiration to become divine, in which school-going children are being taught with the biographies of eminent personalities so they get knowledge, inspiration, insight, maturity for their future. This can be a module that Kiran Bedi madam said, this can be an ideal module for it. We have also found that younger generation is so keen to know the science and logic behind each act and thought of tradition. Thus, to comply their cultural quest, we arrange some lectures, group discussions, so that through which scientific logical explanations with the help of scientific and Vedic literature can be given. We have also tried to confront today's womanhood with different aspects of Sanatan Vedic Hindu Dharma. Thus we have arranged their meetings with different stratas of saints. We call it as Santa Sadhak Sabhas, because this has now become a high time to take out the mystic foundation of Hindu Dharma from the prejudiced chains of chastity and purity and make it available for the masses, for the universities, for the youths, for the whole India. We are doing this through our institutional setup. We have 41 branches in Maharashtra and some outside it. We are planning to spread it, so I am here in front of you. Till now, we have trained 22,000 girls and women with the help of our 160 volunteers. With this space, Vishwamangalya Sabha hope to benefit 50,000 Hindu families with 50,000 ideal Hindu mothers. I think this social condition would definitely be helpful in regaining and retaining the cultural glory of Hindu Dharma. To materialize the theme of this conference, I think we have already committed to design and deliver a gallant, dignified mother which can overhaul her cobwebs with respect to Indian spirituality, nationality, and conventionally, so that our posterity will be in safer hands. We are Hindus. We belong to Hindu Dharma. I would like to make you understand. Sorry, my English, I'm not much conversant in this language, so pardon me for that. Hindu Dharma. Hindu, the word is derived from an ancient word, Hemendu. Hemna and Indu. Hemna and Hema means sun, and Indu means moon. Hindu in totality means the radiance and reverence is as that of sun and moon, whose universality is as that of sun and moon, and whose eternity is as that of sun and moon, and dharma is dharanat dharmamityahu dharmo dharayate prajaha. Means the way of life which accepts, follows, and take the masses to the glory of Hemendu. So let the women of India once again hoist the flags of Dharma and Rashtra and re-establish herself as an incarnation of power on family front, in social front, and in national and international politics too, so that the Hindu Renaissance will be effected. Vande Mataram. Thank you. Thank you for the organizers to allow me. Thanks.
Namaste. For our last session, I'd like to please invite Srimati Vasanti Kamaje and Dr. Uma Vaidya to join me on the stage. And I will introduce them now and turn it over to them. So Srimati Vasanti Kamaje is a trustee of the Hindu Women Forum of Bharat. She is an M.Com graduate from Mangalore University. She started her career as a lecturer, but then joined a family business. During this time, she focused her time largely on developing local women entrepreneurs in the rural area. She is also very active in promoting social causes. She is the vice president of Vishwa Hindu Parishad Bangalore chapter. In the year 2012, she served as the president of the organizing committee of World Hindu Women's Conference. And Dr. Uma Vaidya is the vice chancellor, KK Sanskrit University, Ramtek, Nagpur. She was the past R.G. Pandarkar professor and HOD, Sanskrit Department, University of Mumbai. She did BA, MA, Sanskrit Gold Medal, and PhD. She is an expert in the Pali language. She is a recipient of many awards, including Pratnyavanta Puraskara, the Best Book Award, Rashtriya Gaurava Award, Ideal Teacher Award of Government of Maharashtra, Rashtriya Prabodhan Purskar, Kalidas Sanskrit Sadhana Purskar, Government of Maharashtra, and Honorary Doctor D. Lit.
Namaskar. Good evening to everybody. First, I feel very honored to stand before you. The guests are the honor guests in the dais and off the dais. Now, I will say something about way forward from here. Today's this session is way forward from here. Ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunimilitam yena tasmai Sri Guruve namaha. Salutation to the Guru who removes ignorance by opening the eyes of wisdom. Now we have come to the last part of the conference. In these days, we are excited to provide the space and framework that will encourage a meeting of minds and hearts and the most fascinating discussions. We have encountered bright new stars, all with new ideas worth our attention. What is the way forward from here? We are leaving the place charged with more responsibility and with the sankalpa of doing good to the society. For chasing a dream, age is no bar. Only strong mind to do something and direction is enough. Amantram aksharam nasti, nasti moolam oshadam. Ayogyo purusho nasti, yojakatra durlabaha. That means every letter becomes sacred mantra if it is used by the learned one. In the hands of the Ayurveda Pandita, the Mulika becomes medicine. Through proper direction and planning, every person is good. And every person is also, Yogya Purusha and Yogya woman. Hindu woman can take responsibility of Hindu renaissance and resurgence. Gargi boldly challenged Yajnavalkya about Brahmin in the presence of thousands of Vedantis. That is the power of the woman. It is the strong belief of Swami Vivekananda that if the woman raises their children well or properly by their noble actions and direction, our culture, knowledge, power and devotion awake and our country is glorified. He supported women education strongly. Once Margaret Thatcher attended one of our programs in England, and she was very much impressed by our family system and admired it. She asked her people to follow family system. The credit goes to Hindu woman. For every problem, there is answer in the Hindu Dharma. How the flower and fragrance cannot be separated each other, our women cannot be separated from our culture and Dharma. Because of them means women, Hindu Dharma prevailed in this country. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mratyorma Amritagamaya, from darkness to light, from ajnana to jnana. We should always work with positive attitude and optimism. Half-filled water is observed by different ways by different people. The pessimists say that the glass is half empty, but the optimists observe that it is half filled. They try to fill it. We have to find solution to the problems. Always work with positive nature. Hanuman never knew about his own abilities and strength. Jambavanta reminded him of his power. This led Hanuman to achieve impossible things. Similarly, this platform should inspire and awaken our ability and strength. This is the platform for the women to remind and awake their ability and strength. Here in this platform, there are women and group of women working in thousands of ways, working with self-confidence, self-respect, responsibility, and nationality. We require good planners and executors. We can use this country's resources properly in the right way. We have to think globally and act locally. Book the miracle of we that arises when we are together. Thus, world redemption lies in the individual transformation. If each individual is equipped with universal outlook, world prosperity and peace is not far away. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. This is our slogan. As today morning, Kiran Bedi explained, woman needs 4S to be adopted in our life. Saksharata, Swachha Bharata, skill development, and Samskara Bharata. It all lies in the hands of the woman. Women should practice this in our life. Our Mananiya Shantaka advised us that we should always think positively, do our duty properly. We should get the position by our capacity. But if we get it through our capacity, then it has got more value and strength. What we want today is Western science coupled with Eastern spiritual power. With lots of different brilliant ideas in a short span of time, how can we translate these ideas into powerful, positive impact of our world? What does the next stage of active, engaged community feel? What is this way forward from here is about spotlighting excellence, building community, and stimulating real-time to creation. Let us all unravel the inner strength that is within us and walk on the footsteps of our forefathers, taking the responsibility of making the whole world. However, we are gathered here to discuss the way forward to enable further empowerment of women. Some of the key issues are gender equality. As Modi raised the issue of honor of labor, similarly, women should be considered as equal to men in most professions. It is particularly prominent problem in India, where women are expected to be good mothers and wives. A woman who focuses on her career is thought of as unwomanly. The pay for woman who is on an equal position as a man is lower. Removing the challenges to women, in most rural India, girls are not given good education. This has to change. We need to provide good education to women as they comprise of 50% of our population. Girl children should be as loved and cared as boy children. Establishing women to excel in all spheres of activities. It is the responsibility of everybody, women and men, to ensure that women are given equal opportunities to excel. We should encourage women entrepreneurs. We should encourage women's sports as much as men's. Removing the stereotype of women in the professional world, women are perceived as naturally weaker than male co-workers. They are paid less, expected to have good soft skill. In order to address these problems, we need to take concrete steps to ensure that progress is made. We need to ensure that this forum has served its intended purpose, that of ensuring that solutions are found to women's problem. I call upon the attendees to form a task force to address each of these issues. In this age of social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc., I call upon techies to come forward to create the appropriate platform for discussion and actions. Thank you. I will now hand over the mic to Aditi Banerjee. Dr. Vaidya.
Sadar Saprem Namaskar. Respected dais and the awakened sisters and brothers from Hindu community. The title of the session, which I am going to conclude, is Way Forward from Here. It suggests that all the earlier sessions have brought us to a particular point of awakening, and now we have to start our march ahead. We are charged, we are inspired to do something immediately. Now what can be done? To begin with, I shall present before you some of my observations about the previous sessions, that is from session 1 till the presentation by Dr. Joshi. I have taken a few notes. I have given thought to all those sessions. And with blending my own thoughts with it, I would like to present something before you. 20 to 22 ladies, including one central minister and ex-IPS officers, spoke on various issues such as the role of women in education, in entrepreneurship, in politics, etc. All of them have deep study in their own field. There were case studies and there were statistical analysis too. So, the presentations were of high standard. Still, there was one common salient feature amongst all this, that there was not even a slight suggestion to compete with men, but it was to complete them and to complement them as the male partners in the society by sharing equal rights and equal responsibilities too. This equal active role of Hindu women will help for Hindu resurgence in totality. Thirdly, I have observed that many natural feminine qualities were showcased without boasting. As Shantaka has rightly marked, the women have kinetic energy. But in addition to this, we have seen how Dr. Vandana was upset because of Bhopal gas issue, concentration camps, assaults on traditional farming. Here we see her social sensitivity. The concept of seed bank, either that is Dhanalakshmi or Dhanya Lakshmi, the new version of the seed bank. What she told, a woman in agriculture grows not for profit, but for protein and nutrition. By breastfeeding, she provides half-digested food to the newborn child. She cooks, she serves the food at least thrice a day for her whole life. And thus, the title Annapurna is not only eulogy, it is not only stuti, but a deserving compliment for what she is doing as the role in food production. Here she resembles with earth and with the cow too. Another important thought that I have gathered from this discussion is that on our way ahead, when we foresee, F-O-R-E-S-E-E, we have to enrich ourselves with 4 C's, C capital. Consciousness about our own capacities, concern for the societal welfare, commitment to the work, and competence to complete the work successfully. If we can manage with these 4 C's, we will definitely be successful with 4S model that is suggested by Kiranji. What she suggested? Sakshar, Swachha, Saksham, and Sanskarit Bharat, to which I will add the 5th one, the Swastha Bharat. Swastha, physically and mentally. Spiritually contented Bharat. And to this 5th goal, if we have to reach, we will have to cross these 4 steps. Those are 4 S. Now, coming to the line over here. What is written here? Strihi Brahma Babhuvitha. Dr. Sita Raman in her speech said, and many others referred to Ardhanari Nateshwar. The point was, if we assume that Creator is a man, the half of him is a woman. Exactly the same sense here. Strihi Brahma Babhuvitha can be interpreted in 2 ways. A woman indeed is Creator. Stri herself is Brahma, standing as a creator of this universe. Or, when Brahma thought of creating, he took the form of Stri. So, exactly this is what is meant by Strihi Brahma Babhuvita. Such great is the womanhood. Enjoy it. Accept the challenges. Have trust and faith in your capacities. No distress, no depression, no disheartening. Dismiss all this from your mind. Now, we will find that what matters is the attitude. Don't expect anything from the society. If society supports you, it is the bonus. Otherwise, uddhared atmanatmanam, natmanam avasadayet, that is important. Be light of yourself. Attadipo bhava, that is what Buddha has told us. Now, Shantaka has rightly said, do not demand, command the situation. This is the philosophy of life that is taught for Hindus in general and for women in particular. Now, Dr. Tiwari suggested that we have to rewrite the books for history. And she has given a number of examples. What I suggest is, we have to remove the falsification of history. We are not changing the history. There are some false elements coming in, and we have to remove those elements. Even Kiranji also suggested that we have to have youth edition, noting the role of Bharatiya Stri in shaping the nation. In addition to this, I would like to suggest, and I know a few steps are already taken in this direction, that even the relevant smrutis can be written, which will take up the challenges of the new social norms of equality and natural justice. The work is going on. The lawyers, the religious leaders, the social reformers should sit together and try to compose a new Smriti literature to enable the woman to face the challenges. My point is, the great Greek philosopher Socrates has said, he only can improve who understands his follies, who accepts it and try to rectify it. Can we work in this manner? Yes, we can. And it is very necessary, because if we reform ourselves in this way, there will be the way to control conversion. Now the issue of conversion is a burning issue. Many of us have referred to it. This will be one step to control it. Secondly, yesterday there was a question whether women are training their own male children or male partners to have liberal attitude towards other women. In the light of this question, I will pose another question before you. As a mother of a son ready to get married, will you permit your own son to marry a raped girl? The question is serious. It is very easy to say it from stage. But when the problem occurs at our doors, we close the door. We are not courageous enough to take the forming steps. Now, 50 to 60 years back, the remarriage of widow was a burning problem. And male members of the society have come forward. And now, the society has accepted Vidva Vivaha to much of the extent. But what about these raped girls? these unfortunate girls face depression not only for the physical attack, but they are afraid of the pointed finger of the society. Now, perhaps, if we are not looking at these girls sympathetically, as the women especially, then there is every possibility that they are dragged towards prostitution or religious conversion. Because they will try to seek the support sympathetically from religious people and from the society. If you are not giving the support, they will naturally turn to other religions. And then we will not be able to blame them, because if we are not providing the expected support to them. And as a women, as Hindu women, we have to take care of these things. Hindu religion has to widen its orbits, but this is not something very new to us. You know Lord Krishna's story. Married 16,000 ladies who were imprisoned by the demon. Why? To rehabilitate them in the society. This is the example. In Marathi, there is a very good song. Bhogi म्हणुनी upahasami yogi karmacha. Lord Krishna says, you may satirically call me Bhogi, the person for sexual enjoyment, but I am the man of action. I have married them to reinstate in their homes and in the society too. So, this liberal attitude we have to inculcate in our children, in our youth. There is another, this is perhaps another step to control again the religious conversion. Vijaya Lakshmi ji in the morning have stated before us many challenges in live-in relationship. Yesterday it was about surrogated mothers, then love jihad. What we find is the laws in this connection are insufficient to give safety to the mother also and to the child. So as women, we have to be aware of all these things. And then the point comes, why people are feeling ashamed to be called Hindus. We were discussing this issue. Because the children from their primary schools are taught in this way. Some teacher was telling, yes, we were taught like this. That means we have to change the syllabus from primary level. And we have to teach them what is Hinduism in totality from the basic texts. And not the translations in English, French, or German. No. Directly from Sanskrit to your mother tongue. That is the only way. And we have to try for these things. Now, when I heard for the first time, गर्व से कहो हम हिंदू हैं, this was a reaction to those people who were ashamed of their Hinduism, of their being Hindu. Instead, we have to say, गर्व से हम कहते हैं कि हम हिंदू हैं. We have to reach to that destination. Now, there were 2-3 more points. The point was about the Hindus who are staying away from this nation, but somewhere in Australia, Fiji, Bangladesh, etc. Look into the matter very seriously. We are Hindus in Hindu community, in Hindu nation. Whatever our inside quarrels, disputes, but we are together in large number. These Hindus who are staying away in other nations, they should not feel isolated. In the earlier session, we have heard and seen the ladies standing with courage. But my point is, as the women, Hindu women in Bharat, We have to support them. They must know this, that if we are propagating and promoting real Hinduism, the whole Bharat is with me. So this becomes our responsibility to support them. There was another issue. To begin with, action plan. What we discuss in general conferences is the verbal do's and don'ts. We have to bring them into action. Before concluding my remarks, I will quote a stanza from a prayer from Rashtra Sevika Samiti. From my childhood, this prayer has influenced my mind so much that wherever I may get the chance, I always quote these words. Pramila Maushi, it is for your humble thing that I am quoting. Sushila Sudhira Samartha Sametaha Swadharme Swamarge Param Shraddhaya Vayam, we all, Bhavi Tejasvi Rashtrasya Dhanyaha Jananyo Bhave Meti Deyasisham. What it says, with noble character, with courage, empowered as we are, we will come together, Sametaha, with deep faith in our duties and the way that we have selected. Swadharme, Swamarge, Param Shraddhaya. What will we do? We would be the creators of an illustrious nation. Tejasvi Rashtrasya Dhanyaha. We are the blessed ones. Why? Because we are the creators. Jananyo bhave meti deyasisham. Oh Lord, give us the boon that we will be the mothers of this nation. Generally, in Western countries, nation is equalized with father. Pitrubhumi. In Hinduism, it is Matrubhumi. This is the difference between East and the West, and on which we concentrate. Now, we will not stop with our nation alone, but as it was shown here, Krunvanto Vishwamaryam. What is Aryahood? It is nobility. Arya is a noble person. It is not a community. It is not a caste. Any person with noble conduct is Arya. So what we will do, we will fill up the universe with nobility. That is our aim. That is the aim of Hinduism. And for that, we are charged. We have to understand our capacities. That is what Vivekananda ji has said, Jagrata, Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapyavaran Nibodhata. Try to understand what is your inner soul is telling you and blossom within yourself. That is the thing what Hinduism has taught us. Now, if we are ready for the action plan, then what are we supposed to do? It is written over here. Sangachadvam, Samvadadvam, Samvo Manausi Janatam. Walk together, speak in unanimous words, and understand each other. These are the ways taking for successful action plan. This will help us for Hindu resurgence. In the earlier session, Kiran Bedi ji has made one appeal, and constantly she was appealing us as mothers, as teachers, and even as the vice chancellors to start with the action plan. On behalf of myself and all of you gathered together, though she is not present here, I would like to assure her that we all have made a determination, a fixed resolution for what? to create the generations of citizens who are socially conscious, spiritually well-trained, and morally upright. This is our duty. This aim we will achieve. We will not going to compare with modernization and westernization. We have faith in our roots. All the problems with proper guidance can be solved through Hindu philosophy of life. There was another issue which made Maushi very upset, that the ladies should go more and more in scientific research. Yes, it is true. But what we have experienced is scientific research for ladies is very important, but with the balance of her natural soft feelings with which she binds the society. If the women scientists are getting more and more in number, the science is definitely going to harm the soft feelings which Hindu society has created. I do not mean to say that don't enter in that field. I am just giving a word of caution. How we have to be balanced. Now, coming to the last point. Of course, this is as the Vice Chancellor of Sanskrit University. In most of the presentations, you must have come across a number of Sanskrit citations. Many of you had already taken some formal education in Sanskrit, maybe in high school, maybe in junior college. But now, in this conference, I would like to make an appeal to all of you that what we are going to do with our next generation, that is value orientation, inculcation of sanskaras, whatever it is, do it through Sanskrit. If you have taken a few lessons, go ahead. Kalidas Sanskrit University is with you. Whatever help you need for learning and teaching Sanskrit, we are ready to give. It is not because I am a teacher of Sanskrit, but because Sanskrit language has an important role to play in understanding Hinduism. Because all the basic texts of Hinduism are in Sanskrit medium. And I feel here that all of you know Hindu philosophy, no doubt. But how many can of us read as from basic text? Maybe Gita, you have learned it by heart. Now we can recite it. But the purport of Gita in Sanskrit will be more effective than its translation in any other language. So friends, with this, let us go together. Let us have hands in hands. We are ready to help you. And if you agree to the suggestions that I have given in my speech, and if you are ready to work on them, please loudly say Om. Thank you so much. Namaste. From this moment, we will start our work, and we are with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vaidya. I think we have time for a few questions and comments from the group, and particularly suggestions on moving forward, which is the theme of this session.
Last 2 days, I have been continuously observing, hearing, analyzing, commenting, number of things I have been doing. I feel that all the women who are here at least are all of you, whether you were speaker or not speaker, all of you are doing something or other. I'm fully 100% convinced that all of you are jewels in your area. So first of all, congratulations to all of you. Secondly, lot of projects we can do in our area. And I had written one small paper which I had given to Ratnaji, that how I'm, by the way, by profession, I'm a busy obstetrician and gynecologist in United States in a solo practice. And in spite of that, I had started, I'm not trying to say something to praise myself, but to say to how we can encourage other women to do some seva. Because there are 90% of women, we are here how many? Very few. But there are a number of women we need to encourage to take out the little part from their life, whether busy or not busy, and put into seva. Because, a lot of women doing kitty party and this party and that party, we never worry about number of hours. But we are the leaders. There is not one or two. Every one of us are leader to spend time in doing some kind of seva to improve our personal life, because we vibrate our personal life and do seva in different forms. Whether you do youth program, whether you do Bal Vihar. In America, we, even with OB-GYN, we ran youth programs, Bal Vihar, Ekal Vidyalay. Now they gave me the responsibility for health for 60,000 villages. So similarly, I'm sure you all do, but it's not you what I'm asking you to do. What I'm saying is get other women, pull them out of their tamas or rajas to sattvic activity. And that is my prayer and my request, and I really enjoyed your concluding remarks. And that one of the most important thing I really congratulate, I saw some DVD, not DVD, the women's picture, all the leading women from old Vedic era to this era. I mean, that's unbelievable. That is, I really congratulate. Who did it? Oh my, that was fantastic. I think every one of us should get a copy. Do you agree with me? Because if we have that copy, then every one of us, and copy doesn't cost too much. If we have copy, we can inspire so many women. We need to take more women in our fold, because that's our duty, that's our prayer, that's my humble request.
Thank you.
Oh, really? Congratulations. Another thing I really strongly feel, there should be no women forum just for, because only women listening is no good. If there is a rape, if there is a widow women, men should be here 50-50. This is no good, only women listening. We all know our problems. I know for last 40 years, I'm working in a society. I know each and every problem, but I want my brothers and my, whoever, partners to understand, because without them, our work is only 50%. We are complementary, and we are not whole.
Thank you. There's one in the back. Yes.
I don't have a question, but I would like to thank everyone for the concluding remarks. Actually, I would like to share what I have learned from my elders while working in my professional area or during my spiritual services in temple or in Hindu Forum of Germany. While I'm working, my boss is only lady among so many men in the board of directors. And she controls she's the boss from Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. And for me, it was such an inspiration to ask her, because she's most of the time interacting with men around her. And I think there was a question also how men are treating when we are in our professional atmosphere, because we feel something, okay, we are not treated well, or we are thought little bit low in intelligence or decision making. So I cannot still forget, she's a lady at about 65 years old. She's still a boss. And I asked her, how do you manage when you're among the men? When all the men are like looking at you and you really command. And I still can't forget what she meant. She said, when you define your role from the day one, then there is no problem later on. Everybody will take you seriously from the day one. So there is no point of raising any finger on you. So by that, what she meant, she used to tell me, when you go for any conference or international where you have to represent Hinduism, wear a sari, wear a tikka if you're married. So for me, it was a little bit weird because I was mostly into professional, wearing jeans. And so our presentation, I think somebody mentioned that our presentation and how we present ourselves outwardly and how we present among a group. So it's very important. So being a Hindu, being an Indian, I feel it's my personal experience when I'm in Germany or attending any party or any conference, I go and wear sari because people really have preconceived idea that this lady is from India and she's Hindu, and it really helps me to give away my thoughts and to put it through. The first thing is my outward look. But it is also like that, do how Romans did in Rome. So we have to really know how to carry ourselves depending upon the situation and the place. So this I would like to add because this I learned from my boss and I cannot really forget it. So I just keep this in my mind.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Okay, maybe one more comment.
Namaskar everybody. I am Kusuma from Karnataka. I am also in Hindu Women Forum, and I just want to tell a word that we are conducting seminars and a few classes for Dampatigalu, that is Dampatigalu Varga Vidu, where it constitutes husband and wife. They will have to come to the class and they will be taught about what we have learned from our parents and are we giving the same thing to our children. Is it being sent? How they are reacting? And what would be the future if they are not actually learning what we have been taught from our parents? That's what we are teaching them. And we are also teaching them about Hindu Mane and Samskara. How a Hindu home should be and what is the Samskara which is to be learnt at home. That has been taken care from our side in our Dharma Prasad Vibhag. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Umaji, your conclusion was so clear and so lucid. We all should thank her. And apart from what you have spoken, one important thing is that every child should learn Sanskrit. And that is a very, very, very valid point. And we have to give a big hand because that Sanskrit is a mother of all the languages. It is the cementing force of Hinduism to our future generation. And for example, my children, because I couldn't learn Sanskrit, I made my children learn, and my son got 124 out of 125. Today he's in US and writes one Upanishad thing every day. He puts it on a Twitter to educate all the people. This is how it spreads. So every mother has to take care that they learn Sanskrit. Without Sanskrit, our Sanskriti will not survive. We are very grateful to you for your wonderful lecture. Thank you.
Thank you for that. We are out of time, so we will conclude the session. Thank you to all of our speakers, and thank you to everyone in the audience.
सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति।